Hello everyone, I am Muftawu Nabila Abdullahi, a sports journalist. I'm going to share an interesting thing in relation to Ghana's prominent sporting men, those who have sold the brand Ghana to the world. And some of them might sound a bit interesting because maybe you might think that my opinion is quite weird. But if I'm to rate Ghanaian sportsmen and women, those who have stood tall in the 65 years history of this country, I'll rate Asamoah Gyan as number 3. This was a man who probably became one of the best Black Stars players of his generation. Scored 51 incredible goals, played over 100 matches for the Black Stars. It doesn't come better than that. Played at 3 FIFA World Cups, captained the Black Stars. He could have made history for Africa if he had converted that penalty against Uruguay. That would have taken Ghana to the semi-final of the World Cup in South Africa. But unfortunately, it never happened. Despite that, I still think that Asamoah Gyan is one of the best players who have donned the Black Stars colours. And he's played all over in Europe. He's played in France. He's played in Italy. He's played in England. He's played in China. And he's played in Turkey as well. This clearly tells you that this is a man who has toured the world and has done great things for the country. Number 2, I will speak about Abedayo Pele, arguably the best player of his generation as well. One of the few players to have been regarded as the best player in the African continent of his era. I think that Abedayo Pele was one man who stood tall among his peers. He won the African Cup of Nations with the Black Stars as a youngster at 16 years of age in 1982 when Ghana won the tournament in Libya. Though as a captain, he could not lead the Black Stars to win the African Cup in Senegal 1992. They had a horrendous performance in South Africa 96. Burkina Faso 98 was not another tournament to remember. But I think that Abedayo Pele, having won the UEFA Champions League for Olympique Marseille in 1993, stands tall when I talk about sportsmen who have sold the brand Ghana to the world. And finally, I'll talk about Azumah Nelson, the greatest boxer of his era. The man who held onto the WBC title between 84 and 87. The man who is a 2-time world champion. The man who always said that when you go into the ring, you go into the ring with your referee. You don't expect others to do you a favor. And I think that Azumah Nelson will always be the greatest sportsman to have ever emerged from Ghana. People have got various stories to tell about Azumah Nelson, but I personally think that the junta that Ghanaians experienced in the 80s, he became the tool that united Ghana. Many would tell you that anytime Azumah Nelson was going to fight, the whole country goes agog. Everyone was excited. If he loses, it was more of a national mourning. That tells you so the kind of personality Azumah Nelson was. This was a man who dominated world boxing. This was a man, even the government then had a conscious effort in ensuring that he won fights for the country. And I would always rate Azumah Nelson as my number 1 when it comes to Ghanaian sportsmen or athletes who have sold the brand Ghana to the world. You might have a different opinion. You can talk about the likes of Michael Essien, you can talk about the likes of Alice Enum. Alice Enum was Ghana's first female Olympian, ran at a time of 22.89 seconds in the 1972 Olympics. You can also talk about the likes of Michael Essien, who played in the Premier League. It's because how prominent the Premier League is, that is why Michael Essien will always be rated among those players. And you can talk about the Addis in the 1964 Olympics. In 1972, this was in Munich. She ran 200 meters at a time of 22.89 seconds. That was an incredible feat. Then there's also the Addis who participated in the 1964 Olympics. Michael Essien played in the Premier League. Because of how prominent the Premier League is, Essien will always find his way in there. So if I'm to mention about the top 10, Essien probably would be in there. There was also going to be a place for Sami Kufuor because of what he did with Bayern Munich. losing the 1999 Champions League final to Manchester United and winning the 2001 Champions League final with Bayern Munich. Yeah, so yes, in terms of those, you would always look at such personalities and put them there. But Azuma Nelson will always stand tall when it comes to the greatest sportsman of this country. Maybe others will come in soon. They will sell the brand Ghana, but Azuma Nelson will be at the top. I think that the junta that we experience in the country under the leadership of former President, may so rest in peace, Rawlings, there's a conscious effort by government to ensure that Rawlings, Azuma Nelson won fights. Because anytime Azuma Nelson was willing to fight, the whole country comes to a standstill. When he wins, every quarter of the country goes agog. When he loses, it was more of a national mourning. Such personalities will always be regarded as the top men to have ever represented Ghana in any competition in the world. That's my take on the top three. So, Asamoah number 3, Abedi Pele number 2, Azuma Nelson number 1. Thank you very much.